It's lights out and we're racing in Moto2. I don't know whether Canet might have actually been a little bit too eager there from fourth place in the grid. We'll keep a close eye on that one. I don't know if he did, maybe, by our Whisker jump the start. Aldeguer, though, gets away superbly from pole position, immediately followed by Pedro Acosta on the 37 bike. Marcos Ramirez away really well from the back of that second row. Ramirez on the American racing machine up into third.
Well, if Canet did jump the start, it clearly cost him time because he dropped back. Look at Arbolino right around the outsiders. That looked like Guevara going way out wide into turn 3. But Arbolino, who was 7th out of turn 1, is going to be 4th or potentially 5th out of turn 3, side by side with Chantra.
I think Vietti really picked up Dixon as well. First time of asking through turn 3. Chantra then behind Marcos Ramirez. It's been a poor first lap then for Gasgas Aspar. Oh, that was close further back, wasn't it? That was Lopez and Arenas, who's plummeting back already from that rare front row start. And now Lopez getting busy on the inside of Arbolino as well. Here comes Lopez, who's had a real strong first lap. He fires the Boscoscura on the inside of Chantra in the final corner. He gets in hot though on the cutback. Chantra just sweeps to the tight inside line. Aldeguer leads there at the end of lap 1. Acosta in second place, Ramirez third. Canet did jump the start. He's at the moment at the end of that opening lap in 6th place. He'll get that message now on his dashboard, so Arbolino will be a little bit relieved that he won't have to be aggressive and take the risk to find himself back through on the Spaniard, because Canet now will be getting that message. Double long lap penalty then, and that's going to put a massive dent in his hopes of finally winning a Moto2 Grand Prix here today. Here we are then, looking at the number 40. We spotted this, yeah, clearly rolling, jumped the start and then throttled off and plummeted back through the field. Is he going to come in now then for the first of the 2 long laps he has to serve? Yeah, he certainly is. So in he goes. He just about stops it, although he was definitely flirting there with the edge of it. I'm looking out of our commentary box window as he comes through turn 5. It's a long lap penalty here. He's going to drop in, isn't he, just ahead of, was that Ayagura?
Yeah, so he's in 11th place. Yeah.
And Acosta, though, knows he doesn't need to take the big unnecessary risk to hunt down Aldeguer. Second place will inch him, and it'll take him another giant stride towards Moto2 glory this year. Ramirez still in third. Chantra fourth.
Oh, that was way too late on the brakes from Jake Dixon, who piles into the back of Celestino Vietti. And I don't think Dixon, unfortunately, can look elsewhere but himself for that one.
I just wonder whether there was just a bit of a slipstream factor there as well, but Dixon comes out the worst of that particular exchange. He comes from a long way back, doesn't he? Vietti knows nothing about this and slamming into the side of him. Oh, that's a nasty one. Dixon already, what, 7 days ago, suffering a dislocated right shoulder after he crashed in the torrential rain and the howling wind in Phillip Island. He goes, and at this point, Dixon knows he's in bother. Dixon knows he's in trouble.
Well, Somkiat Chantra, of course, desperately wants a home podium. Marcos Ramirez has never had one in Moto2, but surely Chantra will take this one fairly shortly as he now pulls out of the slipstream alongside the 24 and draws alongside. He'll have the inside line now for turn number 3, and get ready for this cheer as Chantra takes the podium position. You saw on screens a moment ago that Arbolino was getting the information of who's behind him. It's Acosta's teammate who's right behind him, Albert Arenas, who can certainly help his teammates out.
As Arbolino has another dabble then, another stab at Lopez. This time around, it looks like he has made it work in the hard braking zone for turn 3.
He's not an easy rider to pass, is he, Alonso Lopez? So Tony Arbolino will be quite relieved to get that move done, and that's not a good sign for Alonso Lopez's race, that he's already having a look behind him to see who is catching. Clearly feeling that he's not got the pace here to go any further forwards in this Grand Prix. It's going to be a bit of a rearguard action now for Alonso Lopez, who's 5th, or now 6th, of course, behind Arbolino.
Fermín Aldeguer, another low 136, another time on that lap 12 where he takes 4/10 again out of Acosta. We ride on board with the Elfmark VDS Racing team man, who's doing a pretty good job here to make sure that Pedro Acosta does have to sweat for at least another couple of weeks, and he comes on the inside now. This is like taking candy off a baby, isn't it? That was coming for a good 4 or 5 laps now, and Arbolino then picks his way through. He's running that wider line. He'll just chop the nose off of Ramirez. Ramirez then knows he hasn't got Arbolino's rhythm, and he has a long look over his left shoulder to see who is next in line, and he'll get a face full of Albert Arenas, his number 75. Over the line he comes on the 54 Boscoscura machine, and again it's another superb 136.4. Was it one lap maybe where he was in the 37s where he made that mistake 5 or 6 laps to go? Otherwise, it's consistency as well as the speed has been just on another level today. Aldeguer actually now nearly back up to 3 seconds clear of Acosta with just 3 to go here in Buriram.
Well, Pedro Acosta, this is what happened then. It was down at turn number 12. That was the mistake around about 3 laps ago that saw Aldeguer lose a second of that, what was 3-second advantage at the time. He's already won all that time back again. But Pedro Acosta's going to have to say a couple of words in this Grand Prix that he doesn't often have to say, and that was too good Fermín, because he's 3 seconds up the road, and he's barely, apart from that mistake, as you say, been out of the low 136s. And when you're too good for Pedro Acosta on the day, you're putting in quite a special ride. He's 1 lap away from an astonishing victory. As good as his Silverstone win was, I think this would be even more impressive from Aldeguer on a weekend that through free practice looked like it had Pedro Acosta's name on it. He was by far and away the strongest rider through Friday morning and Friday afternoon, but Aldeguer looks set to turn the tables on him. He stole pole position yesterday late in qualifying, and at the moment it doesn't appear as if Acosta has had any answer over 22 laps of this Grand Prix this afternoon.
Acosta though will head to Sepang in 2 weeks time, 63 points clear of the championship with just 75 left on the table as Agura leaves massive black lines on the tarmac, doesn't he? He backs it in again down into turn 3. Just a shame that Agura didn't qualify well, because imagine the spectacular show he'd be giving at the front of this Grand Prix. He has clearly had podium pace here in Buriram. As we follow through turn 7, your runaway victor Fermín Aldeguer, but this young man Pedro Acosta is taking another huge leap towards what he came for in 2023, the Moto2 World Championship.
13th podium potentially awaits for Pedro Acosta. It is not the win he was hoping for, but in the bigger picture, which is what he's thought about on many occasions this season, this is a very useful result for Pedro Acosta. The day, though, looks set to belong to his fellow teenage prospect, Fermín Aldeguer.
Yeah, into the final corner then comes Fermín Aldeguer. Out of our commentary box window, we can see him coming over the line. He'll pop the big stand-up wheelie. Perfect way to celebrate a runaway victory here in the Grand Prix of Thailand.
The victory today, a supreme performance from Fermín Aldeguer.